we're working to connect a region of over 600 more bridges between our lands.
Hello and welcome to ASEAN in Focus. I'm Alma, and joining me today is from our EBC Thailand Bureau. Hello, Esther.
Hi, I'm Esther Odanga from EBC Thailand Bureau, giving you the latest news in the dynamic ASEAN region.
On today's headlines, parents or guardians will have to accompany their children aged 10 to 14 should they decide to go out in areas under the Modified General Community Quarantine or MGCQ status, according to a palace official.
President Duterte defends vaccine czar Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. from allegations of corruption in connection with the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines by our government.
The alleged ringleader of Asia's biggest crime syndicate and one of the world's most wanted men has been arrested in the Netherlands, with Australian authorities pushing Sunday for his extradition to face trial.
A 62-year-old artist in Vietnam's Mekong Delta has been mastering technique of turning dried lotus leaves into artwork since 2017.
First, here in the Philippines, parents or guardians will have to accompany children aged 10 to 14 should they decide to go out in areas under the Modified General Community Quarantine or MGCQ status, according to a palace official. Cabinet Secretary Carlo Nograles made this remark after the Interagency Task Force for the Management of Emerging Infectious Diseases recently allowed people aged 10 years to 65 years to leave their homes for non-essential activities, such as going to malls starting on February 1st. Current IATF rules permit only those aged 15 to 65 years old to leave their homes. Nograles said 10-year-old kids are old enough to understand the importance of observing health and safety protocols such as wearing of face masks, face shields, frequent hand washing, and physical distancing. He also pointed out that the Philippines seemed to be the only country restricting minors from going outside. Earlier, presidential spokesperson Harry Roque warned that failure to relax age restrictions may lead to economic deterioration. He also said the government needs to balance both the reopening of the economy and controlling the spread of the virus. Roque also said that allowing children to go out amid the pandemic is good for their health.
Aftershocks are possible from the magnitude 5.2 earthquake that jolted Surigao del Sur Sunday night, the Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology, or PHIVOLCS, said. Based on its bulletin issued 11:07 p.m. Sunday, the tectonic quake struck 65 kilometers northeast of Bayabas at 10:26 p.m. It had depth of 12 kilometers. Intensity 2 was felt in Bislig City. PHIVOLCS said damage are not expected from the quake. Based on PHIVOLCS earthquake's intensity scale, damage starts at intensity 4. Intensity 6.
President Duterte defends vaccine czar Secretary Carlito Galvez Jr. from allegations of corruption in connection with the procurement of COVID-19 vaccines by our government. Let's take a listen.
Aside from itong trabaho natin, nandito yung pandemic, yet we are securing the measures of government, protect them. Itong mga sa checkpoint, matrabaho talaga yan. Alam ko na hirap ang pulis pati sundalo. And yet, andyan pa yung pandemic. Tapos, Secretary Galvez, so doing everything he can. Mabutit na tapos nagiprangkahan ko talaga sila. Ayun sabi ko, postak ko yung presidency ko nga. Walang graft yan. At si Secretary Galvez, kilala ko. Para sa akin, I was there in Marami when we were fighting the Islamists. And I saw in him kaya nung pag-retire niya, kinuha ko. Tapos ngayon ito, binigay ko sa kanya lahat. Ikaw lang ang magturo nito.
He also said he saw Galvez's potential to serve the government when the latter played a key role in the 2017 Marawi siege. A former military man, Galvez was among the generals who led the 5-month battle against a terrorist group in Marawi City in 2017. Galvez said the government is expected to finalize the supply agreements with 7 pharmaceutical firms by the end of January or the first week of February. The Philippine government has been negotiating with COVID-19 vaccine makers Pfizer, AstraZeneca, Moderna, Johnson & Johnson, Sinovac, Gamaleya, and Novavax.
From keeping coronavirus vaccine cold in tropical temperatures to ensuring they reach remote islands, a top drug distributor is gearing up for a major challenges in shipping shots across Asia. One of Asia's biggest is Zuellig Pharma, which has about 85 warehouses across ASEAN region that can store vaccines at ultra-cold temperatures and a well-developed distribution network. Take a look.
Cold chain storage for vaccines is extremely important first and foremost, for patient safety. So we really want to make sure we keep cold chain integrity to guarantee product stability and product efficacy to preserve the patient safety. Most of the vaccines need to have a cold chain around 2 to 8 degrees. So if we go outside those boundaries, if it gets frozen, it goes more than 8 degrees, we take the vaccine out of the cold chain and usually it is destroyed. So we cannot administer vaccines that have been outside of the cold chain. For instance, for example, one of the steps we take when vaccines arrive here in the country, we open the box and we check the temperature controller, and then we measure that, we download that on the computer to make sure we can do audits later on if we see there's something that went wrong. Indonesia, we have the same in Korea. Suddenly we have a power cut, we think there's never, but there is. So every single cold room, the cold rooms we have here as well, we have 2 backup generators. So we're on the normal power grid, then we have a first generator that kicks in automatically, all that is automated, and then we have a backup for the first generator as well. So in every single cold room, we have double backup of our cold room. And
Bad campaigns are expected to be ratcheted up in the coming months, and distributors will face a major test. This is particularly tricky in some countries, such as Philippines, Indonesia, and Cambodia, where temperatures often soar above 30 degrees Celsius or 86 Fahrenheit. The Pfizer-BioNTech vaccines need to be stored at minus 70 degrees Celsius or minus 94 Fahrenheit, and once thawed for use can be kept at 2 to 8 degrees Celsius for 5 days. Meanwhile, U.S. firm Moderna's shots is stored at minus 20 degrees Celsius, and those of Chinese company Sinovac at 2 to 8 degrees.
Meanwhile, a first batch of 1.5 million doses of the COVID-19 vaccine, Covishield, arrived at Yangon International Airport. Take a look. The consignment is a gift from India to Myanmar to assist in the latter's fight against the COVID-19 pandemic. In January, Indian regulators approved 2 vaccines, one Covishield developed by AstraZeneca and Oxford University and produced by India's Serum Institute, and the other Covaxin made by local firm Bharat Biotech. The Indian government said the Maldives will also receive a free supply of 100,000 doses of Covishield on Wednesday, while Bhutan will receive 150,000 as a gift. Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar, and Seychelles will follow shortly, according to Delhi, and Myanmar is now getting it. India plans to offer 20 million doses to its South Asian neighbors, according to Bloomberg News last week, with others in Latin America, Africa, and Central Asia next in line. The Serum Institute, the world's biggest vaccine maker by volume, also plans to supply 200 million doses to COVAX, a World Health Organization-backed effort to procure and distribute inoculations to poor countries. Meanwhile, Covaxin's maker, Bharat Biotech, last week signed a deal with a Brazilian firm and is ramping up annual production to 700 million doses, according to a spokesperson, and he told this to a financial outlet, the Mint Daily, on Wednesday.
Hopping on a traditional wooden boat, health and security officers join others traveling from Banda Aceh to the remote Brua Island to deliver COVID-19 vaccines for local health workers. The island is located to the northern tip of Indonesia's Sumatra Island and can only be reached by such boats which depart from provincial capital Banda Aceh. The trip takes around 2 hours and there is no regular schedule. Watch this.
Cuma mau tidak mau, karena kita memang kendala belum punya angkutan sendiri atau ambulan laut, jadi mau tidak mau memang kita harus jalan, harus kita bawa, karena itu memang satu-satunya jalur yang harus kita lewati.
Ya, oke.
Sasaran utama yang pertama ini adalah prioritas hanya untuk petugas kesehatan. Jadi vaksin yang sudah kita terima ini hanya untuk petugas kesehatan, ditambah para pejabat yang akan menerima secara simbolis. 10 orang dari provinsi, 10 orang dari Kota Banda Aceh, 10 orang dari Kabupaten Desa.
Meanwhile, the WHO and pharmaceuticals giant Pfizer announced a deal for up to 40 million initial doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine for poorer countries through COVAX Global Pool. Take a look.
In this context, I'm very pleased to share that the Pfizer and BioNTech have reached an advanced purchase agreement with the COVAX facility for up to 40 million initial doses of our COVID-19 vaccine. We expect the first doses will be delivered in the first quarter of this year. And we will provide the vaccine to COVAX for these countries at a not-for-profit base.
COVAX is on track to deliver 2 billion doses by the end of this year. This agreement also opens the door for countries who are willing to share doses of the Pfizer-BioNTech vaccine to donate them to COVAX and support rapid rollout.
COVAX aims to secure enough COVID-19 vaccines this year for the most vulnerable 20% in every country, rich or poor. In COVAX, funding is covered by the 92 lower and lower middle income economies involved, while for richer countries, it operates as a backup insurance policy. Aimed at pooling the risk and rewards, COVAX has struck agreements with manufacturers for 2 billion vaccine doses.
The World Health Organization said it was too early to draw any conclusions from its mission to Wuhan as to whether COVID-19 pandemic started in China. Take a look.
The difficulty, I think, and I think we have to say this quite plainly, all hypotheses are on the table. And it is definitely too early to come to a conclusion of exactly where this virus started, either within or without China. There are different observations, and I will call them observations, scientific observations in different parts of the world. Virus been cultured off different surfaces, virus in sewage, potential serology in some places around potentially implicating earlier infection. And all of that's very important because it builds up a picture. This is a big jigsaw puzzle. And you cannot tell what the image says by looking at one piece in a 10,000 piece jigsaw puzzle. You can guess, and you're entitled to your guess, and you're entitled to your opinion, but that doesn't make you right. So I think we all have to, again, we keep saying this, let's step back, let's follow the evidence, let's follow the science. Our team are on the ground, they're having a good experience working with our Chinese colleagues. We're working through the data. The data will lead us to the next phase, where we need to go next to look at the origins of this virus. So yes, it is too early to come to any conclusion. But again, we believe we are making some progress, and we hope to continue to do so in the interest of public health in the future.
The World Health Organization said Friday it had no plans to change its guidance recommending fabric face masks as new coronavirus variants spread because the mutated strains are transmitted in the same way. Watch this.
All mutations are somewhat worrisome in the sense that we need to evaluate them properly. Most of these mutations and variants will have no impact on the virus itself, but each of them deserves attention, deserves a robust framework to analyze them. And what we are looking for each of them, and there will be more, is looking at transmissibility, looking at the severity, the disease presentation, and the severity caused by those who are infected with those variants. We should say that if you have increased transmissibility, you will have more cases. I know that might sound obvious, but you'll have more cases, you'll have more hospitalizations, and you'll have more people, an overburdened healthcare system. And in a situation where you have an overburdened healthcare system, you can have increased deaths. And especially in countries that are seeing decreases in transmission, it's really important that the measures that are in place continue to be applied, but as they are lifted, they're lifted in a slow and a steady way. They can't be lifted very, very quickly, or else you will see a resurgence again. The virus likes people, it needs people to circulate between. So we need to put that into context. So in particular, the research that's underway in South Africa and in the United Kingdom are looking at increased transmissibility and why that may be, but also looking at rates of infection among different populations and modes of transmission. And from both of our colleagues in the United Kingdom, but also in South Africa, have no indication that the modes of transmission have changed. Within our guidance itself, it is also worth noting that the use of fabric masks, we recommend a 3-layer mask. And in our guidance materials itself, we have recommendations on the specifications for filtration, for example, what the type of fabric should be for the inner layer, the middle layer, and the outer layer. Not all fabric masks are the same, and so they need to be produced and made so that they provide the right type of protection and source control.
beep beeps! Chris Chupera at your service. Ako ang inyong COD or Celebrity on Delivery para sa PM is the Key this Tuesday. Abangan yan sa Happy Time at 12 noon only here on Net 25.
Happy time, happy time, ikaw ay aking.
Sa mundong waring walang puwang para sa kanilang pagmamahalan, sapat pa ang tibok ng kanilang mga puso upang bumuo ng daigdig nilang sarili. Inihahandog ng Eagle Broadcasting Corporation ang kauna-unahang romantic teleserye ng Net25. Ang Daigdig Ko'y Ikaw. Tuwing Sabado, 8:08 ng gabi, dito lamang sa Net25.
At ako'y laging sa'yo hanggang magpakailanman.
Welcome back. 7 volcanic earthquakes were recorded in Mayon volcano for the past 24 hours. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology said on Sunday, volcanic earthquakes are caused by movements or eruptions of magma from the volcano. Now, PHIVOLCS also observed moderate emission of white steam-laden plumes. Volcanic plume or eruption plume is a column of hot volcanic ash and gas emitted into the atmosphere during an explosive volcanic eruption. Now, sulfur dioxide emission was last measured at an average of 676 tons per day last December 29, according to PHIVOLCS. Meanwhile, PHIVOLCS maintains that alert level 1, which is abnormal, is still hoisted over the Mayon volcano. PHIVOLCS also said, although this means that presently no magmatic eruption is imminent, it is strongly advised that the public remain or refrain from the 6-kilometer radius permanent danger zone due to life-threatening dangers of rockfalls, landslides at middle to upper slope, sudden ash puffs, and steam-driven phreatic eruptions from the summit. Moreover, active steam or river channels and those identified as perennially lahar-prone areas on all sectors of the volcano should be avoided, especially during extreme weather conditions. The alleged ringleader of Asia's biggest crime syndicate and one of the world's most wanted men has been arrested in the Netherlands, with Australian authorities pushing for his extradition to face trial. Police had been chasing alleged drug kingpin Che Chi Lop, 57, for years until his arrest by Dutch police on Friday, acting on a request from Australia's federal police. The Chinese-born Canadian citizen has been dubbed Asia's El Chapo, in reference to the nickname of Mexican drug lord Joaquin Guzman, now serving a life sentence in a U.S. prison. Dutch police spokesman Thomas Eiling confirmed that a suspect who figured on Europol's list of the most wanted persons was arrested on Friday morning after landing at Amsterdam Schiphol Airport. Che Chi Lop has been named by the UN Office on Drugs and Crime as the suspected leader of the Asian mega cartel known as Sam Gore, a major producer and supplier of methamphetamines globally. Now, Sam Gore is believed to launder its billions in drug money through businesses springing up in Southeast Asia's Mekong region, including casinos, hotels, and real estate.
Relatives of 62 passengers and crew killed when an Indonesian passenger jet slammed into the Seacast Flowers at the crash site Friday. As an investigation goes on into why it dropped out of the sky minutes after takeoff. Take a look.
A French court will today hear a case against more than a dozen multinationals accused by a French Vietnamese woman of causing grievous harm to her and others by selling the Agent Orange defoliant to the U.S. government, which used it to devastating effect in the Vietnam War. Tran Trong Nga, born in 1942 in what was then French Indochina, worked as a journalist and activist in Vietnam in her 20s. She filed a lawsuit in 2014 against 14 firms that made or sold the highly toxic chemical, including Monsanto, now owned by German giant Bayer, and Dow Chemical. Backed by several NGOs, she accuses the companies of being responsible for injuries sustained by her, her children, and countless others, as well as for damage done to the environment. So far, only military veterans from the U.S., Australia, and Korea have won compensation for the after effects of the chemical whose toxic properties said were absolutely phenomenal at around 13 times the toxicity of herbicides in civilian use, such as glyphosate. 4 million people in Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia were exposed to Agent Orange, according to NGOs, over a decade when the U.S. military sprayed an estimated 76 million liters of the herbicide and defoliant chemical to halt the advantages of communist North Vietnamese troops and deprive enemy combatants of food sources. The U.S. ended the use of defoliant chemicals in the war in 1971 and withdrew from Vietnam in 1975, defeated by the Viet Cong. Agent Orange destroyed plants, polluted the soil, and poisoned animals, and caused cancer and malformations in humans.
In other news, almost 500,000 people have died in natural disasters linked to extreme weather events in the last 20 years, according to a new assessment of the direct threat posed to humanity by climate change. The mortality burden of climate-related catastrophes such as storms, flooding, and heat waves is overwhelmingly borne by developing countries. At the start of the Climate Adaptation Summit, held virtually this year due to the pandemic, the think tank German Watch calculated that these disasters have cost the global economy a staggering $2.56 trillion this century. It said an analysis of more than 11,000 extreme weather events showed nearly 480,000 fatalities since 2000, with Puerto Rico, Myanmar, and Haiti the worst hit countries.
Factual.
We have to defeat the virus everywhere.
Timely information. Balanced, not only in the country, but also abroad.
I'm certain of one thing.
Interviews that people need to know. Watch Aguila Pilipinas. A 1-hour newscast of reports coming from regional hubs in Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Know the important updates in Asia in ASEAN in Focus. Track the latest stories in the provinces in Aguila Provincia. Tune into Mata ng Agila, the evening primetime news program of Net25. Balanced and objective, Mata ng Agila covers national and international issues, tackles news on business, health, science and technology, entertainment, sports and human interest features, and current events. And Eagle News International delivers the latest global reports, impartial, accessible, and up-to-date. It brings to fore EBC's rich international scope and access to valuable information streams.
Well, thank you to XMen, our help outdoor.
Catch these programs on Net25. You can also watch our news programs through eaglenews.ph and Eagle News Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Welcome back. To more news, the Bureau of Customs, or BOC, recorded significant strides in its priority goals for 2020, topped by the full automation of its frontline transactions and 100% accomplishment rate on its target to modernize the agency's risk management processes despite the operational challenges posed by the coronavirus disease 2019 or COVID-19 pandemic. In a statement Sunday, Finance Secretary Carlos Dominguez III congratulated the BOC led by Customs Commissioner Ray Leonardo Guerrero on its achievements in 2020, especially on its efforts to employ digital tools to automate its operations, curb smuggling, and further improve its delivery of services to the public. Guerrero said the BOC reached its 100% accomplishment rate on fully automating its frontline services by allowing the online submission of documents through its customer care portal system, upgrading its electronic to mobile or E2M system to computerize manual processes, and accepting online payment options like PayMaya.
Asian markets mostly rose Monday, rebounding from a sell-off at the end of last week as investors keep tabs on the progress of Joe Biden's new U.S. economic rescue package. However, while vaccinations and long-term optimism, economic outlook is providing support, sentiment remains weighed by concerns about surging virus infections and a new, more deadly strain. Lawmakers in Washington are getting to work on the $1.9 trillion stimulus proposal from the new president, with some suggesting they could pass something before the Senate holds an impeachment trial of Donald Trump, which starts in the week beginning February 8. But it will likely face headwinds from Republicans who think another massive outlay comes too soon after the $900 billion spending package passed at the end of last year. Hong Kong led the gains, rallying 1.8% after the government lifted a strict weekend lockdown in one part of the city, while Tokyo, Shanghai, Seoul, Sydney, and Singapore also posted healthy gains. Taipei, Manila, and Wellington all fell.
Meanwhile, global foreign direct investment flows are set to go through a U-shaped recovery, staying weak in 2021, the United Nations warned on Sunday. FDI is likely to bottom out this year before picking up again in 2022, said the UN Conference on Trade and Development. Global FDI flows will remain weak in 2021, UNCTAD said in its latest investment trends monitor report, with the world still in the grip of COVID-19 pandemic, which has eviscerated economies. The UN agency said FDI collapsed last year, falling by 42% to from $1.5 trillion in 2019 to an estimated $859 billion in 2020. The UNCTAD predicts a further drop of 5 to 10% this year. FDI finished 2020, more than 30% below the through after the global financial crisis in 2009 and at the level last seen in 1990s.
Esther and I will be back with ASEAN in Focus just after this few break.
Hey there, Arnie Aquino here at Hatley Castle, one of the filming locations for the X-Men series. Don't forget to tune in to Digital Nest only on Net 25.
Happy peeps! Chris Chupera at your service. Ako ang inyong COD or Celebrity on Delivery para sa PM is the Key this Tuesday. Abangan yan sa Happy Time at 12 noon only here on Net 25.
Happy time, happy time.
Innovation, digital disruption, globalization. Startups, micro, small, and medium enterprises, as well as large corporations, all face interesting challenges in the market today. Peek into the world of exciting opportunities and partnerships to drive growth with the latest business news and information. We are open for business. Join the conversations to create a more vibrant environment for entrepreneurship. Catch Open for Business every Saturday from 5 to 6 p.m. Open for Business, from vision to action.
All right, in sports, Jessica Corda rolled in a 30-foot birdie putt at the first playoff hole to win the LPGA Tournament of Champions last Sunday, rallying from 2 shots down to beat Daniel Kang. Corda, who fired a third-round 60 on Saturday to put herself within striking distance of overnight leader Kang, fired a 5-under par final round of 66 for a 24-under total of 260 at the Four Seasons Golf Sports Club in Lake Buena Vista, Florida. Thailand's Kang, who led by 3 strokes at the turn, closed with a 3-under par 68. Corda, meanwhile, captured her 6th LPGA title, but her first since the Honda LPGA Thailand in February of 2018. She left herself more work than Kang at the first playoff hole, the par 3 18th. But she rattled in her long birdie putt to pile on the pressure, giving a fist bump and fierce come on when the putt dropped. Kang couldn't get her shorter effort to drop. They watched her shatter the tournament scoring record of 14 under set by South Korean Ji Yeon-hee in 2019. Corda had shaken off a bogey at the 3rd hole with back-to-back birdies at the 6th and 7th and added another pair of birdies at 13 and 14. Kang was 3 under through 14 with a 2-shot lead, but she 3-putted for her first bogey of the week at the 15th. World number 5 Kang, who was also seeking a 6th LPGA title, then hit into the trees right off at the green at 16. She salvaged an impressive par, but Corda birdied to pool level. They both birdied 17 to move to 24 under and both parred the 72nd hole. Meanwhile, Spain's Carolina Marin and Victor Axelsen from Denmark on Sunday claimed their 2nd Thailand Open badminton singles titles in a fortnight. Take a look. Axelsen was a commanding force against his compatriot Hans Christian Solberg Vittingus in the men's final in Bangkok. Marin, meanwhile, the reigning Olympic champion, smashed top seed Tai Chu Ying for the second time in a fortnight. Thailand is hosting 3 consecutive badminton tournaments in a biosecure coronavirus bubble without spectators to guard against the coronavirus outbreak. Marine 27 went into Sunday's final without losing a single game across the 2 tournaments. In a much tighter contest final last week, the Spaniard played the first game 19. The Taiwanese 26-year-old appeared to lose her confidence early in the second set as a dangerous Marine asserted her dominance. Tai saved 4 match points, but her comeback was too late as Marine sealed her victory 21-17. The first non-Asian woman to win an Olympic badminton gold, Marine has faced an uphill battle to recover from a January 2019 knee injury in time to defend her crown in Tokyo. Meanwhile, Axelsen, 27, ran rings around 35-year-old Vietnamese, triumphing in the first set 21-11. Vietnamese ranked 42nd by the tournament from a reserves list and had to reschedule his flight home because he had not anticipated a finals berth. Axelsen repeatedly sent Vietnamese diving for shots and appeared in control of most rallies throughout a 40-minute match. He polished off the second set 21-7 and flagged there would be low-key celebrations. The women's doubles was an all-Korean affair with 6th-ranked Kim So-young and Kong Hee-young too strong against 4th-ranked Lee So-hee and Shi Sung-chan 21-18, 21-19. In the men's doubles, 7th-ranked Lee Yang and Wang Chi-lin of Taiwan also made it back-to-back titles in 36 minutes against Malaysia's 9th-ranked Aaron Chia and Su Woo-yik 21-13, 31-18. Thailand's 3rd seeds Sapsiri Taira Tanachai and Ditchupol Povaranukor won 2nd tournament in a fortnight, outclassing 6th-ranked Koreans So Seung-ai and Chai Yu-jung in the mixed doubles. Now, like their uniforms, the Thai team were red hot, winning 21-16, 22-20 in 46 minutes. 4 people involved in the tournaments, including 2 players, have tested positive for the coronavirus during the past fortnight of competition. The finale, the Badminton World Federation World Tour Finals, kicks off on Wednesday at the Impact Arena and will be contested by the top 8 of each discipline. Underwater divers in plastic choked waters off the coast of Thailand snip through and collect discarded nets tangled around a reef, a new initiative helping protect marine life and turn trash into new products. Take a look.
These fishing nets, they are one of the deadliest form of plastic pollution. So if they are left unattended and they fell into the ocean, they could stay adrift like for decades, either like entrapping, ensnaring, or becoming like food of like marine animals who don't know like any better.
Initially we were working with recycled plastic bottles and plastic bags that we upcycling them and make new products. So once they approach us for this, we really jump into it because we want to save the ocean as well.
And staying in Thailand, we have Faye Barte joining us live. Faye, what is your update on the pollution problem there in Thailand?
Good afternoon to you, Alma, and to all our viewers. despite the pandemic that is ongoing here in Thailand, the kingdom has also a problem about the air pollution. We can receive and we can remember that we are always reporting some problems, and the air quality index is not really good. Sometimes it's moderate, unhealthy, and sometimes it could lead to very unhealthy. So with this, with that perception, Thailand is heading in the wrong direction with its approach to solving PM 2.5, microdust, and other air pollution problems, as measures are not systematic or year-round, according to academics. And another measures that they are implementing to reduce this is the Department of Land Transport reiterated that trucks and buses which emit excessive amounts of black smoke will face heavy fines. It will be 5,000 baht, and it would be started, but they haven't said the exact date yet. And the owners of vehicles with smoky exhaust, but where emissions do not exceed legal limits, will be issued with a warning first. And another update which is related to this, the DLT, or the Department of Land Transport, also plans to boost the number of repair shops and garages authorized to inspect the vehicle's condition on the department's behalf, he said. Back to you, Alma.
Okay, so Faye, what's causing the pollution despite the pandemic and the lockdown, and yet the pollution is up? Is it the traffic?
Yes, according to the article which is related to this also, the pollution is related to the construction and is burning of some plastics and other materials, which is actually contributing to the air pollution. So with this, the government also is implementing some measures to eradicate this. However, the problem, Alma, it seems like the measures that they are implementing is not really helpful. So they need to put more measures or techniques or solution to fight this. Alma.
All right. Thank you very much, Faye, for your updates there in Thailand. Stay safe. Face shield, face mask. Stay healthy.
Yes, you too. This is Faye Barter reporting live from Bangkok, Thailand Bureau. We live in interesting times.
As Lunar New Year approaches, farmers at Sadek Flower Village, the largest flower supplier for Vietnam's southern provinces, is working hard to prepare for the country's biggest holiday. Located in Mekong Delta province of Dong Thap, the flower village is home to around 2,000 households, which have their main income from growing more than 1,500 varieties of flowers and ornamental trees for sale. The Sadek Flower Village is expected to produce up to 3 million flower pots of all kinds, despite the impact of COVID-19 leading to the decrease of sales of flowers in 2020. A 62-year-old artist in Vietnam's Mekong Delta has been mastering technique of turning dried lotus leaves into artwork since 2017, including portrait painting of famous people such as Vietnam's late revolutionary leader Ho Chi Minh. Let's watch this.
Ngay cả lúc mình chưa làm thì đã là thấy khó làm, là bởi vì nó giòn, nó nát. Đó là cũng một cái kỹ thuật làm sao cho nó cái độ của nó, mình xử lý cái độ ẩm nó vừa phải. Rồi sau khi mình cắt rồi cái định hình rồi mình coi cái lúc mình dán vô cái độ nào, cái độ khô cỡ nào nó mới là vừa. Đó là cũng cái kỹ thuật lâu ngày.
beautiful artworks. Thank you very much, Esther, again, for joining me today. I love our outfits.
Yes, always twinning with you, Alma. But before we go, I would like to greet you belated happy birthday.
Thank
you. For everyone's information, last Saturday was Alma's birthday. And we thought that a day of celebration is not enough. So we prepared more videos from your friends and loved ones. So Alma, let's watch this.
Happy birthday po ka Alma. Wishing you all the best. More success po sa inyong career at sa inyong pagtupad. And stay healthy always dahil alam niyo na, new normal po tayo. And God bless always and thank you for always guiding us and supporting us sa pagtupad po namin sa ASEAN in Focus. Suksen wan Kurt Cup! Sawadee Cup!
Happy birthday po ka Alma. See you soon. Stay safe and lagi niyo pong tatandaan na kayo po ang iniidolo namin lahat sa ASEAN in Focus. Stay safe.
Maligayang kaarawan po ka Alma. We wish you all the very best in this life. Thank you po sa lahat for the support. Enjoy your day and stay pretty po.
Hello, Alma. I think you really need to hear my Australian accent. I'm kidding. I'm here to greet you a happy birthday. And I hope that you will enjoy your special day with your family and friends, of course. And also, I just want to thank you for being so graceful and patient with us, even though you hear a lot of mistakes when we do co-anchoring and live recording. Yeah, God bless you always and forever, and good luck to you.
Happy birthday po ka Alma Angeles. Thank you so much for always guiding us. And sa mahabang pasensya, thank you so much po. We wish you always a good health and more blessings from God. See you soon po and happy birthday.
Hello po ka Alma. Happy birthday po. Stay healthy, young, fabulous, and beautiful inside and out po.
In behalf of ABC Phnom Penh, Cambodia, I'm here po from Kampong Chanang. I would like to greet ka Alma, ang Wonder Woman ng ASEAN in Focus. Happy birthday po. Stay safe and healthy. I love you po.
Happy birthday, Alma. Thank you very much for the guidance and thank you very much for inspiring us always to do our very best. Please continue to be inspiration for all of us and to all aspirants. AIF will never be the same without you. And because of you, we can always say we live in interesting times. Happy birthday.
Happy birthday po, ka Alma. Stay pretty and lively po. God bless po. We love you po.
Happiest birthday po ka Alma. Thank you po for always believing in us and we want you to know how grateful we are to help you in ASEAN in Focus. You are a blessing to all of us and you are our forever idol. We love you so much po.
Hi there, Alma. Truly miss you po. I really miss working with you. I hope you're having a wonderful time with your family on this very special day of yours. And I just want to wish you a happy birthday po. All the best and sending love all the way from Hanoi, Vietnam. This is Ralph Bandolf Edby. We live in interesting times.
Happy birthday po ka Alma. Wow, it's your birthday and it's your special day. Well, every day is special with you. Nox. Thank you so much po for all your hard work. Thank you so much for inspiring us to be better, for your patience, for your guidance, and for your love for us because we love you also. And my personal wish for you is that may God give you whatever you've been praying for. So stay healthy and stay happy and stay pretty. Again, happy birthday po. Enjoy your most special day.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Surprise, Alma. Again, happy birthday.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Esther.
Okay, so that's it for today's broadcast. Thank you for staying with us. from EBC Thailand Bureau. This is Esther Odanga, and we live in interesting times.
Thank you, guys. I love you guys. I'm Alma Angeles, and we live in interesting times.